Okay guys, so now what we're going to learn is the second variation that I do in this scenario. Now the first variation, we were able to drop our opponent's knee and bring their knee this way, right? And once we do this and we're able to put their weight on their knee, it makes it impossible for the person to sit back this way because we got them on their knee and their weight forward. This time, we're going to be in the same scenario, but my opponent is going to sit back on their back leg. And what this is going to affect us is, it's going to be the same exact concept, but the opposite side. So when I'm able to take the back and drop her knee, I'm able to do this, right? And now she can't sit back this way. So as I'm trying to close the knee this time, the person's going to sit back and drop this knee. You see, it's exactly the same thing. They're on the other hip though. It's literally exactly the same thing. It's just they're dropping the other hip. And it's basically following our rule of the knee being on the floor versus up. If the knee is here and we drop the knee down and we bring the foot in, now I cannot sit on the other side, right? How is it possible for me to sit on the other side? I'm trying to explain this. I know it might be a little confusing, but I'm just trying to elaborate on it. So if we angle the foot this direction and we make the person's hip drop this way, it's impossible for me to sit on my other hip on the other side, right? I can't just sit on my other hip, right? So for the first one, what we did was we got their hip to drop this way and we got their foot this way. So now it was impossible for me to come back and sit on the other side. This time when we underhook and we got the foot like this, we're trying to close it to drop the person's hip to go like this. The person's gonna defend sitting on this side. So now I can't bring the person's knee back to this side because they're doing exactly the same concept, but just on the other leg. That is what's happening when we're in this scenario, okay? And what this is gonna enable us to do is torque the knee more because there's not gonna be any pressure on this knee. We're just not gonna be able to put their knee on the floor like this, you see? It's because their leg is more straight. And this is where we're going to actually learn a new concept and a new grip when we're doing the underhook. And you're going to learn why we're switching to this other grip, okay? And again, I want you to understand that now the person's weight is on their back leg, right? And they're sitting back on that back leg. Before they were sitting, they were forward, we were able to turn it and drop their hip. Now they're here, they're putting their weight back. And their leg is almost straightened, right? So now I can't bring their foot in, and then close to make them fall here. This is exactly how Bruno Malfacini reacted when I did this position. All the higher level guys will react this way. They'll try to sit back if they can. And then that will give them a little more safety, right? Because I can't drop that knee to the floor now, which means that eliminates me from taking their back initially. But what I want you guys to think about is their weight being on the back leg. What did we learn in the Berimbau system? When the weight's on the back leg, we're able to sweep our opponent. When the weight's on the front leg, we can take the back. So the second that we see that the weight's on the back leg, I'm going to be thinking in terms of how I can create my frames to enable me to sweep her, okay? And again, it's going to be a fight of that collar grip. That collar grip is going to be her safety net. That's going to be her fort, right? As we learned in the De La Riva system, the fort and frames, right? Her major frame in this will be that collar grip, trying to save her, to keep her upper body facing me somehow, while her legs are not. That will be her trying to save herself, okay? And I'm going to show you how do we eliminate that and how we're going to proceed, okay? So let's begin. So you can stand up, please. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in De La Riva. Foot on the shoulder. I'm going to get to the De La Riva. I'm going to be here. She's going to be having the collar, the leg, whatever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flip her and lift her up, right? So what's going to happen is when I try to lift her, she's going to put her weight on her butt, right? So now I'm not going to be able to lift her up anymore. So I'm going to bring her knee to my chest. I'm going to under her. I'm going to start turning. And before what I was able to do was I was able to bring her knee here, bring my chest back, bring my arm under, bring my chest back, and take her back, right, with her weight on the front leg. Now what's going to happen is she's going to defend by sitting back on that back leg like so. You see? So let's change the angle this way a little bit. So, no. So when I'm in this spot here, what I want you guys to notice is her toes are still facing this direction, right? Her body is all this direction. The only thing she has saving her is this collar grip and her head to face me. You see? That is why I can't immediately take her back or move because of this collar grip. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be here And what I'm going to show you guys how to do is this. I'm going to control the ASIS. When I control the ASIS, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my foot to her armpit, like so. Now, you're going to wonder, why am I doing this? Can I get leg drag? Leg drag me right now, please. It's impossible for me to get leg drag. Because of the frame on the ASIS, the underhook I have on her leg, it's impossible for me to get leg dragged here. So I can break this grip by putting my foot in her shoulder like this. All I'm gonna do is push the ASIS. I'm gonna push the bone on her leg. I'm gonna push this, keep the grip strong. I'm just gonna do this. She cannot keep her grip. Again, the reason why she is very weak with keeping this grip is the concept of her being her spine misaligned. For her to keep a strong grip, she has to be facing me and square, right? But because her body is the other direction, that disables the strength in her arm to a certain extent, which enables me to break her grip, okay? So once I break this grip, I'm here, she could grab again, whatever. But it's so important because every time she starts pulling the collar, pull the collar and start facing me. Break, you see? So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do, just like in the berimbolo system, what we learned, is I'm going to reinforce my leg on top of her leg, like this, right? Because now it's even going to make it harder for her to open her knee. Because her whole goal here is going to be, keep the collar, keep my leg, and she's going to be trying to open her knee, putting her weight forward, and now open your knee. Open your knee. Your toe. Yes, there you go. Now go back. So that's going to be our whole goal in this spot. So what I'm going to be trying to do is this. I can even break the collar with the collar grip like this, get the grip like this, and get my knee on top of her leg like this. Now, once I get here, I want you guys to notice something. Let's change sides, please. Look how my leg hooks her body like this, like a De La Riva. You see? The reason why my foot's hooking her armpit is because this is how I'm going to sweep her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to push her armpit. I'm going to push her down like this. Once I do this, I'm going to post my hand and come up to top her ball just like we learned before. Right? This is such a powerful move because I've controlled the ASIS still. You see? And if you don't want to sweep the berimbolo, just come up to like a folding pass. Here. You see? Okay, so again, I'm going to be here. I'm going to collar the leg. I'm going to be here. I'm going to lift. I'm going to underhook. I'm going to try to drop the knee below me. She's going to sit down and defend. See? So now I cannot drop the knee below me. But what can I do? I can break this grip, get to the ASIS, and now I can get my leg on top of her leg, hooking her body first like this. Okay. Now I'm going to move my foot to her armpit, and I'm going to go on my shoulder. How am I going to go on my shoulder? This is where I'm going to introduce to you the new grip in the underhook, and I'm going to explain why we're doing this. So initially we're controlling the underhook like so. What we're going to do now is I'm going to make a grip on her sleeve like this, and I'm going to control it. What is this going to enable me to do? This is going to enable me to circle my hand like this. What do we know from the berimbolo system? Why doing this with our palm is really good.
It helps you into invert.
Yeah, so come back, sit down.
Here?
Oh. When I turn my arm like this, I'm able to go on my shoulder, look, here. So I activate the muscles in my arm. If I'm like this, I don't have the same, ow, that hurts because I didn't turn my arm. So it actually puts a lot of pressure on your arm if you don't turn the arm. So like I do this, I feel like it's really easy to go on my arm because all of this is activated. It's like a cushion, like you have like a pillow here that like makes it like really no pain or anything to do. Okay, so that's why when I'm here and I have the underhook first, the application of the shin is to put pressure on her knee, right? When we switch to the underhook, the application is to help me go on my shoulder. Okay, so I'll be here first to put pressure on her leg. I'll switch to this when I'm ready to put pressure with this, to go on my shoulder. So I'll do this, look. I go like this, look. And what I'm doing here is I'm gonna switch my foot to deep De La Riva.
You want to switch angle or?
First here is fine. I'm closing her knee, right? And now look what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go on my shoulder like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my butt on top of her knee. Wait a second. My butt on top of her knee. Didn't we just learn that previously? Let's do a rewind. That was the first one. Flashback.
Like right now, it's
Yep.
like in the.
Yeah, stand up. So remember in the first one, I was like, we're here. I pull forward. I underhook. I turn the knee, and I get to her butt like this. Look. You see how my butt's on top of her knee? And then I was able to take the back. So now, then the second one. We fast forward back to here. We lift, I turn, I get her here to sit down. So now because she's sitting down, you see how her knee, I can't sit on, right? Before I was able to sit on her knee. When I get this grip, I break the collar grip, I go here, and I get my body on top of her knee. Look what just happened to her knee again. My butt is in the same spot as it was previously, you see? So now look what I could possibly do. I could sit back down here, look. I could move my body here, and I could bring her back to this spot, you see? This would be in a perfect world, awesome. The person's too strong, you're just gonna sweep them, but I just wanna show you how it's exactly the same spot. You see? Look how my butt is on top of her, and look how my chest squares up. Now I have my core and my legs helping me to pull her to me. Now we're back in the first position that you learned previously, right? So when she's on her side, over here, I get my weight, no, sit down, yeah. I get my weight on my butt, on her leg like this. If I'm able to, I put my butt down, I'll pull, and I'll bring my chest up like this. And you see how it brings her body up, you see? And I'm turning my palm like this. Once I do this, look how I can sweep her again and take her back here. Yep, so over here, and here. I lift, I turn the leg, I turn her body. So the application of the underhook, right, is to put pressure on her knee. I get my knee on top of her knee, I get the grip here. Once I get to the ASIs, keep the collar, please. What did we learn about whenever the person has the collar? Grab the collar, please. Open your knee a little bit, please. And grab the collar. Yeah, there you go.
My toes kind of stuck. There we go.
What did we learn about when we grab the collar? Every time the person grabs the collar, we move our foot to the armpit. Let go, Look how I just put my toes right in her armpit like this. All 5 toes. The second I do this, now keep it. Try to keep the grip. I just pull it to me a little bit. So I pull, and then I can push. And you see how it completely eliminates? So I bring her body to me, and I bring her upper body away from me. So again. So when you bring a collar grip, what you're doing, you pull the grip to you, right? And then you move away from you. And you move your body in, and then out, right? That's what I'm doing when I'm here. Same mechanism, so she has the collar. I'm pulling her body to me, and then I pull it away. And I keep her hip next to me, and I keep her upper body away from me. Look. See how I'm able to break the grip now? If I feel it's too strong, she's bending, I'll push her hip away from me. And now I'll stretch. You see the opposite of now? Because she's trying to bring her hip in for that one. So then I'll push her hip away from me and break it. If I feel like she's keeping distance, I'll pull her hip into me and break it. Both are fine. I think I most of the time do the pushing and break the grip, but it depends on the scenario, right? So I can even be with the collar grip here. I punch her shoulder, look, and then I move my foot in. I break the grip. And the second I break the grip, I want you to notice this is another way that we could time to get to the hip grip. Because sometimes it can be difficult, right? The person could be hand fighting you to get the hip grip. So when I'm here and I break this shoulder grip like this, look how it gives me the spot to grab the hip grip. Makes it easy for me to grab, right? But notice her knee is still up right now, right? I'm not on top of it. So all I have to do now is I have to switch my hand. I can go on my shoulder and I switch my hand to this. So I can use this grip on the shin to get on my shoulder like this. On my head, now I'm gonna grab the sleeve grip on her leg, and now I'm gonna turn my palm to get my butt on top of her knee, like so. Look. Once I get here, look where I end up. Now I can hook the shin on her body, I can put pressure on her knee, and now I can bring my body square like this. Look how I'm able to bring her up, right? So go back down. But what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna try to bring her back up, and now she's too strong, right? I can't lift her, no way. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this leg, I'm gonna hook her armpit, because she's posting her arm to stay up, right? What did we learn about the rules of sweeping someone? The only way that they can even keep their body up is if they post their arm, right? They need to post some arm. So I just put my toes in her armpit like this. So, if you could change the angle, please. Just want them to see my toes. Yeah, sit down again. So look at my toes, how they go in the armpit. You could like remove the gi or whatever so they could see the grip. Yeah, so now my toes are just in her armpit like this. You see? I just put them right inside her armpit and I push her shoulder down. When I do this, I use my shin across her body. So this shin on my leg here is across her body. I'm gonna kick her down. I'm gonna pull the hip to me. I'm gonna sweep and I'm gonna put my knee in the ball of her hip right here. So sweep, push the leg, and kick and pull the grip to me. Look what happens. Look how she falls. Now my body goes on top of her knee more. When I get on top of her knee more, look where I end up. I post my hand, I'm just gonna come on top to here. To top her bowl, look. And notice how her knee is completely pinned. You see, I don't need any, again, this is a barrel bowl position, but you don't need any flexibility to do this at all, right? You're just going on your shoulder. When I end up here, you could, if you don't want to do anything with barrel bowl, you could fall down, you could grab the head, you could go to a folding pass, you could go to so many different options, okay? But I think that it's important you practice even getting here, you know? Like there's so many spots that we could get to this in, and it's such a great spot to get to barrel bowl top. Okay, so I end up in this spot here. So again, so you see how this is probably the most superior fort out of all the things we've done in De La Riva so far? Because of the pressure I have on her leg, all the rules that we've been learning, they completely like work here amazing, right? Because we have so much control of our opponent. So when I'm here, I try to lift, I turn the knee, I go here. I start going like I want to go for the first one, where she sits down, right? And she's grabbing my collar, she's pulling her shoulder to me, like this. I just do this, break. I pull the grip and I stretch. Okay, so come into me again. I can even frame like this to get my leg in. I pull the grip, I stretch. Here. Now all I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna hook, I'm gonna go on my head. Look how I go on my head. All I'm gonna do is I pull the grip, I use my hand on my shin to get in my head, and then I'm gonna switch to the sleeve grip on her leg. I switch to the sleeve grip on her leg like this. And when I switch to it, what I do is when I grab the sleeve grip, I turn my palm up like this. As I'm holding the sleeve grip. Because when I turn my palm up when I'm holding the sleeve grip, it activates all the muscles in my arm. Once these muscles are activated, that will enable me to get on my shoulder. Once I can get on my shoulder, I can climb my body on top of her knee. Putting weight with my butt on top of her knee. Possibly, if we can, bringing her this way. If we can't, no problem. That means that she's begging me to sweep her. The grip is gone here, right? All our rules are applicable, right? We just hook the armpit, we use our shin across the body, and we sweep. You see? That's all the body mechanics that you're going to need in this position. So stand up again. Here. I try to lift, I can't. I underhook the leg. I put pressure on my knees to my chest. You see, all I'm doing is bringing my knee to my chest and trying to turn, because I want to get her knee off the floor. So I can get my butt on top of her knee. But I can't now, she sits back. No, but bring your butt up because I got my butt on top of your knee. So I can take your back right now.
Okay, great.
You have to get your knee, bring your knee up to me.
Oh, sorry.
Now I can. So I'm here. Look. So all I do is I can break the shoulder grip here. You see? If any time I feel her attempt to leg drag me, go to leg drag this leg. All I do is I back up more. Leg drag my leg. All I do is I back up more. I keep the pressure on my knees. There's zero chance of getting leg dragged here if you position yourself right. Okay? So now I get the hip grip here. Right on the ASIS, right? I'm going to grab my knee. I'm going to go on my shoulder here. I'm going to get the sleeve grip. And look at the sleeve grip I grab. I don't just grab the grip on her leg. I grab with my palm, like this. I do this with my palm on her leg. So when I'm here, I hold the shin, I get up, I get the palm grip up like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my shoulder like so. Here. And now once I get my knee, my butt on top of her, I can get my knee on the floor now. And now I can put weight on her knee, look. If I can, I'll put my back on the floor like this. To take the back. If I can't, that means all her weight's back, right? I can't lift her up. So all I do is this. I hook my knee here. I bring my knee next to my hand. Look how my knee and hand are like aligned with each other. I put my toes right in her armpit. I put pressure. I use my shin and I'm going to kick. I'm going to pull the grip, kick, and sweep her down like so. Once I do this, I come up. Now I'm in top bear and bolo, where I have all my options of taking the back. So again, So how I like to set this up, like I keep showing you, I always go overhead in competition. I always try to overhead the person to the back, right? We learned that in previous series. I believe the second part of the Del Hiva series, I teach the overhead. Then they defend the overhead by squatting, and then I do the underhook. That's usually how I combine the two together. In competition, these are probably my two go-tos the most. The overhead and this underhook. I feel like those two are my favorite. Like, because I feel like they're the safest too, you know, like both are so safe and easy. And both I'm able to barrel ball without even having to invert, so I love it. So I'm here, I get here. I try to overhead, I can't. I underhook, I turn the knee in. Look how my knee is already over here when I do this. You see, so now I can grab and I'm trying to get her butt under my knee so she sits down. She gets here. So now I wasn't able to get my butt on top of her knee, right? So because I wasn't able to get my butt on top of her knee, I'm gonna break the collar grip. I'm gonna go on my shoulder a little bit. I'm gonna grab the sleeve grip on her leg. Once I do this, I get on my shoulder and I get my butt on top of her knee. Once I get here, I'm gonna try to sit on my back to pull her up like this. If I can't, sit back down. If I can't pull her back up, I'm gonna put 4 fingers, my 4 toes, I think all 5 actually, sorry, in her armpit. I'm gonna put pressure on the armpit, I'm gonna pull the grip to me, I'm gonna put pressure, and then I'm gonna sweep down like this. Notice how I'm on my side of my neck, you see? I'm just on my shoulder. 0 pressure on my neck. I'm just on the side of my neck. So now I get here, once I sweep her, I'm going to pull the grip and post my hand on the floor, because my knee's already on the floor. You see, so it's easy for me to come on top. Now I'm here, I have all the options of doing top berimbolo from the berimbolo system. Or you can just sweep the person into folding passes, whatever you prefer, okay? So again. Open your knee, please. Get here. I grab the shoulder. I pull the arm up. See, I'm almost taking your arm off the floor. Look. Look what I do with my foot. I just literally take it off the floor using the side of my foot. Then I go like this. 1, 2. I get here. And again. Keep the collar strong, please. So close your elbow. No. Keep the collar strong and bend your elbow. Yep. Look how I go on my knee when I adjust. You see I'm on my knee? So now I can just walk up without having any pressure on me. So when I'm here, look how I'm on my knee. So now my butt can go on top of her leg easy. Now once I get here, I put my toes on the back shoulder, I sweep. Now I come up. There. So as you see, guys, the amount of control I have in this spot makes it so convenient to just stay there. Like, it's such a safe spot for me, you know? They can't, their knee is completely bent. Even if they have the collar grip, they have no strength in their hand to even keep the grip. It's almost a guaranteed sweep if I get to this spot in competition, you know? Because I know that they literally have to give me a sweep or they're gonna get their back taken. So I love spots like this where I'm able to put the person in a predicament where like their best case scenario where they are successful is only if I get 2 points and sweep them. You know, so that's like the best scenarios for me, you know, when I'm able to put someone in a spot where the worst thing that could happen for me is a sweep, and the best thing that could happen for them is me sweeping them, you know, and scoring on them. So I love that, and I think that that's why this spot's so superior. Like, and I think it's my favorite De La Riva spot, you know. And again, this is all the series of us turning the toes in. That's why this is so strong. We keep turning those toes in, which is putting pressure on the knee, and it makes it easy for us to keep the knee in. Now, instead of using our butt to keep the toes in, we're keeping our shoulder. We're using our shoulder as a grip on their leg. That's why this position is working how it is. And we just introduced the new concept of holding the sleeve. When we have the underhook, first we're grabbing the shin. We switch to the sleeve using our palm on the leg. Once we switch it using the palm on the leg, we're able to elevate, bringing our body up because we activate the muscles in our arm, right? Once we do that, we're able to arrive in the same spot we learned in the first lesson, right? Which was our butt on top of the knee. Because we're able to go on our shoulder and they're sitting back, we bring our butt to the knee the same way as before. And once we accomplish this, the person again lost all their connection in frames, and it's easy for us to sweep them or even possibly arrive back at the first position we learned previously, right? So I want you guys to work this along with the first one and see if you could time getting that knee, your butt on top of that knee. That you'll see over and over how it's literally the same thing. But what I also want you to work is, I think it's the most important part of this position, is breaking the collar grip. I think that once you learn how to do that, you'll feel so strong there. If you watch my match with Bruno Malfacini, I actually break the collar grip the same exact way, and I sweep him the same exact way. So this position is definitely a very efficient position that I think you guys will be able to utilize in training and everywhere. And the leg drag in that spot, you might feel uncomfortable. Oh, I'm letting my leg cross my body. It's no danger because you have the underhook. And if you watch my Berimbolo series, I believe part 4, we go over when the person gets you in a full leg drag from Berimbolo, how to react. So I have an answer for that, even if they got you in the tightest leg drag. Okay, so, because you have the underhook, you're safe. Like the underhook will save you if you're in a tight leg drag. It's basically this. So I'm gonna go Berimbolo. And here, and you have the leg drag on me, like this, yeah. So even if your arm over here, so even if she got me in a leg drag like this, if you watched my previous series,
Can we move this way?
yeah. If you watched my previous series, you learned how we use the ASIS. We put our foot on the stomach. So 2 things, and I'm able to remove it, right? If I can't get my foot on the stomach, I could do this one where I just sit. I could come up, and I could sit back and remove my leg. So there's so many different ways I can remove my leg. I personally enjoy and like when the person goes for the leg drag in that spot. Because it helps me control them. Because they're keeping themselves connected to me. So I actually prefer when they do this. For sure, if you don't understand how to respond to this, it could be troublesome. So I recommend if you're going to be using this position and you like Berimbolo, to watch the Berimbolo system part 4 as well. I think that will help you if this happens, because I also go over many back takes from underhook De La Riva in the Berimbolo system part 4. So you'll be able to combine in all your attacks from that section of our series with this. I think that they'll all fit together. And that's why I'm doing it like this, because I want you guys to have these spots. And I go into deep detail how to finish from these spots in these DVDs. Okay, so there will be reference points for you to go back to study. So then you get to this spot, and then you go back to that part of the DVD, and you have your system for that spot. Because we have to have a system for every spot in Jiu-Jitsu, right? We have one spot, we have another spot. We systemize all the spots, we get to our spot, we arrive, our system begins. So that's how we're starting this spot particularly. We're getting to the underhook, we're getting above the knee, and then all the options that arise there will be very important. But again, I need you guys to perfect breaking that collar grip. That will be the only annoying thing in this spot is if the person has a strong collar grip and they're squeezing, but you'll see how easy it is to break. If you're not controlling the ASIS though, you will feel it's very hard to break that grip because you have to frame them. You have to have a connection to the bone. Like I always say, the discussion of soft tissue versus bone. When you have a bone, they can't come in. The frame is super strong, so it eliminates me from leaning forward. So once I can't lean forward, I'm leaning on my arm even more. It's easy to break the grip, right? So the way to work the grip break, work moving your hips up, connecting your butt above their knee, and then we'll move on from here and adding in the sweeps. And if you watch Berimbolo's system part 4, applying those concepts and positions to here, as well as Berimbolo's system part 1 with the top Berimbolo, that is all where this is all covered if you're looking to figure out where to like sort everything, okay? And I want you to drill from De La Riva system part 2, the overhead, they defend, you get into this underhook, right? So multiple DVDs all in application in one spot, you see? So that's how I'm doing this, so then you guys have every tool everywhere humanly possible, okay? So let's work it.